YouTube, Dr. Solar. So this is take number 10 or 11 or 12, I'm not even sure. Something was always interrupting. Either the phone rings or I get a message or we start laughing. So hopefully I get it right this time. This is to tell you my experience with the Sigenergy. Sigenergy is the battery, the Sigenergy controller is the inverter, that's what it's called, and I explain to you why they call it a controller. And then when I'm done, you'll watch the video of the installation process itself. I couldn't show you the commissioning because I was too excited, and it got done without me actually applying any thought process to it. So we got it on, I picked it up on Saturday. Come Monday, we tried installing it by putting that kit on the wall. The kit has a bubble, a level, that shows what it's supposed to look like when it's even. When we followed the level, it was tilted. Then we got an actual plumb, put it on, and then mounted it using the plumb. We still ran into issues. The weight of the battery and the inverter was way too much for the wall, so we started pulling out of the wall. So my people decided that they were no longer going to put it on the wall, they wanted to put it on the floor. Now if you watch the video, you notice the floor is uneven, it's not flat. So they had to put a piece of wood to bring it up, to prop it up a little bit, and then they secured the base to the ground. Once that was done, believe it or not, that part took us Monday and Tuesday till about 1 o'clock. Makes no sense. The easiest part was what took us the longest. Now, the actual installation process was a no-brainer. We took the battery, put it on, second battery, and then the third, the inverter, the controller. Now, the reason they call it a controller is because it's actually a grid-tied inverter. It's a PV inverter. It's not a traditional battery inverter. So when you look at it, there are only cables going in for PV, and then one cable coming out for the on the AC connection. So it's only one. Your traditional inverters, you have 2, 3, sometimes 4. This one only has 1, and I'll explain to you in a little bit. So we finished doing that, and then we mounted the gateway. We connected everything, brought PV out from our Solax, put it onto it, and then it came on. So these high voltage inverters, for you to start them, the battery doesn't start it. It's the PV that starts it, or the grid that starts it. One thing, well, let me continue and I'll come back to one thing. So I scanned the QR code, it recognized what it was. It asked me if I wanted to connect it to the internet. If you had been connected to the internet before, I said no. Do I want to connect it? I said yes. Then it took me through the connection process. Then asked me for my location if I wanted to use the device, which was my phone information. I said yes. It pulled the correct address. And then when we tried to get it to work, it was showing us an error. It was showing a fault on the app itself. So I continued the process, and then it asked how I was going to connect it. So I selected off-grid, how I intended to use it, and then it asked me if the gateway was connected. Once I said yes, boom, it came on and started charging. So back to what I was going to tell you earlier. It's a grid-tied inverter. For it to work, it needs that gateway. The gateway is what allows it to function in island mode. Or is it anti-island? One of them, island mode. So once you select gateway, it activates island mode. And that's how it works, and it was beautiful. The commissioning was a breeze. So watch the video, and then I'll come back at the end, and then I'll give you a summary. If you look at this, right, you can see there's a little bit of a slant to the left. Look at this, you can see this now, it looks less crooked. It does look like it's tilted, but I think it's the way the design of the device itself is. It is on the plumb, it's straight. So we'll listen to the plumb. So here's battery number 1. They're going to put in battery number 2, and then inverter. So we spent over 4 hours trying to get it mounted trying to get the base mounted to the wall. You can see the holes. And it was very unsuccessful. So now we decided to put it directly onto the floor and secure it. Because the floor is uneven, we had to put that piece of wood there to even it out. So they are putting go ahead. Hold on, let me move this one. They've put so now they're putting the inverter itself. So what do we have now? We have an 8 kilowatt inverter, which I just put on, and then 8 kilowatt hour battery times 2. So there are two 8 kilowatt hour batteries and then one 8 kilowatt inverter. So far so good. This is how many hours into this? Mohammed has been at this since 10 to 8. What time is it now? It is 12:30. So this part does not take any time. Putting this together, once you get your base down, getting the base was what took us forever. You see from a previous video what we tried to do, the wall refused to cooperate. So now we decided to do this. And you can see there's a piece of metal, there's a piece of wood here because this floor is uneven. But it's secured with anchors. So let me see if I can show you. Secured with anchors right there. So that's not a concern, it's not going to come off. So if we look here, there is only out, there is no in. And then we have 1, 2, 3 MPPT. So it has 1, 2, 3 MPPTs. Our DC switch. Oh, they have a that's for the antenna. And then so this allows you to put in 2 communication devices, which we're going to do. So let me go back here. So here's the gateway. So you're going to say to me, you spent how many million naira? And I spent definitely over 10 million naira to install this outside. Yes, because I'm crazy. I'm not stupid, I'm just crazy. I want to prove to you that you can do the same thing that I'm doing. So here's the gateway. You cannot work in off-grid mode without the gateway because this does not have an AC input. That comes from here. So here's the gateway. We have our what options? We have grid, backup, which is our load, and here is the inverter coming in. And you see it's looped to, so it's looped to the contactors, right? And then whatever this magical thing is, I have no clue what it is, but that's where the brains are, and you can see there are communication ports. And here your wiring diagram. So I like this. The schematic is right there. You can see what you're supposed to do, what talks to what and what's not supposed to talk to what. So once we start running this, we're going to prove Mohammed wrong, right, Mohammed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll let you know what the secret is and what we're proving him wrong for. I've connected it. So let me tell you, they say it takes 1 hour. It doesn't take 1 hour. That's just highly incorrect. It wouldn't take you 1 hour. First of all, just to get the base took us quite a bit of time. Putting everything together was really a no-brainer. Setting up the gateway was a no-brainer. Now we're pulling cables from our existing inverter into this one. So we did first started one PV, and then once we had one PV in, we connected it to the gateway. Told it was in off-grid mode, so it recognized the gateway. And once you recognize the gateway, the system it was in error mode, and then once I went into the setting, it started doing what it's supposed to do. One thing I like with their app, this ChatGTP thing is very, very powerful. I mean, it updates in real time. As your PV production changes, it's changing right on your screen. That is amazing, mind-blowing. We've not powered the house yet, so this cable you see here is what's going to power the house. So they're bringing it into the inverter, but everything else is in. The 2 PV strings are in. Our output is in. There is no input for grid on this inverter, so it's definitely a bi-directional inverter. So that is going to go into the gateway, and then from the gateway, let me see if I can open the gateway and show you. So I showed this to you already. So this communication cable was necessary. When it didn't see it, it didn't work. All these breakers are off. So the breakers are for grid, inverter, and so this is output, backup to the house, and then this is inverter. And then this is the, the automatic transfer switch. And then you can see, they don't use standard CTs. There's a name for this, something coil. That's what they're using. So they have one on the on the contactor, and then they have one on your breakers. Pretty neat. I don't know what's hidden behind there. It looks like it might generate some heat, but when I come back, this should be ready to go. I'm very, very excited. Finally. Let's see if this baby lives up to expectations. But so far, the app is on a different level. When I was setting it up, it says location. I used what? Close it. I'll close it. I used it says use your location. I used my location, and boom, it entered the address right then and there. And it asked me to enter how much in PV. I entered that. And the system, one thing I liked very much, with our Solax now, for us to connect it, right, we had to scan the Wi-Fi dongle. This one, scan any of these. Let me scan it. Can you see that? Where's my finger? Scan. Oh, sorry, too high. Scan this QR code. Anyone, whether it's from the battery, whether it's from the inverter, you scan it, and guess what? It automatically recognizes the device, reads the batteries, and then connects the Wi-Fi device, and then asks you to go through the connection process, sees your internet, and then you enter your password, and it's ready to go. And then guess what? It started to do the firmware update by itself. It says it looked it up, did the firmware update. The firmware update took a while, but it did firmware update. It was automatic. You didn't have to do anything. I like this so much. Did I say I like it? I like it. I'll be back. This is me with the new Sigenergy 8 kilowatt inverter with two 8 kilowatt hour batteries, and over there is the gateway. So it is getting moisture on the inverter. So this is our test. We've not even started on first day. We're getting moisture on it. So the floor is wet. So I'm back. So you've watched the entire installation process, our 4 parts, and then how we got it right. The commissioning, unfortunately, I was too excited to show it to you, but it's once you open the app, you enter the details of what you need, it takes you through it. You use artificial intelligence. So this is one of the first. This is the first installation I'm doing using AI. So it uses AI with ChatGTP. Amazing. The process is phenomenal. It just did everything. Commissioning took us less than 5 minutes. The longest part was once you went on, it said there was new firmware available. Actually, it didn't even give you the option. You automatically updated it to the newest firmware. So it says, look, firmware update is going to happen, tells you to wait, and that took a little bit of time. I think that took about 3 minutes. Once the firmware update was done, that was it. So if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. Give me 2 thumbs up if you can. If you've not subscribed, please click subscribe, because many of you come to this channel, you watch my content, but you're not subscribers. So please click subscribe. We're on the way to 6,000. I need your help to get there. Once again, this is Dr. Sola coming to you from Lagos, Nigeria.